Do you feel it too? That subtle, almost silent sensation that your path has never really been your own. That there is something, someone greater than you, guiding your steps in moments when everything seems uncertain. Today, the angels are leaning over you and whispering truths that the world has forgotten. They say, you were sent. You are the answer to a prayer that this soul didn't even know to make. There's a hidden purpose behind the encounter that changed your heart. It's no coincidence. It was orchestrated. Before your eyes met, before your paths touched, there was already a promise sealed in the invisible. You, with your light, were chosen to awaken a dormant part of his soul. Not to complete him, not to save him, but to awaken him. This awakening, dear soul, is not always gentle. Sometimes it's the shattering of old certainties, the collapse of pride, the rebirth through pain. And this is how you became a flame lit in the midst of his night. Unknowingly, you walked toward him carrying something that not even time can erase. The reminder that true love still exists, even among the ruins of doubt. The angels show that your mission is not to fix, nor to wait, nor to suffer. It is to be. To be true to the essence that has brought you here. To be light even when the other hesitates to come closer. To be shelter without imprisoning. To be love without losing yourself. Because we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them. Ephesians 2 verse 10, your existence has already been shaped for this encounter. What comes next no longer depends on your strength. It depends on your faith. Trust, dear soul. Heaven does not miss its addresses. There are moments when love feels like an insurmountable bridge. And you feel this in your bones, don't you? A warmth that wants to reach out but hits the invisible walls he has built around his own heart. The angels say, it's not rejection. It's protection. This soul you've encountered, so filled with silences and back and forth, carries scars that it may not even know how to name. Old scars, stitched together by fears that came long before you, way before. And now, despite its intentions, it raises barriers against what it desires most. It's not personal. It never was. It's not about a lack of love. It's about the fear of what love could destroy within. Fragile certainties, manufactured control, freedom built on absences. You ignite in it a deep desire to be seen, loved, whole. But along with that, you also awaken the terror of losing itself. Of opening spaces that have been closed for years. Of confronting memories it promised never to revisit. So it pulls away. It shuts down. It acts as if nothing is happening, as if you haven't unsettled everything. And you, with your soul wounded by doubt, ask yourself, what did I do wrong? The angels hurry to say, nothing. You were the right choice it still can't hold on to. When it disappears, it's because it needs to breathe outside the fire you lit. When it returns, it's because that fire is everything it secretly seeks. It's a cycle, not a sentence. It's the confusing language of a heart that wants and fears in equal measure. Breathe deeply, radiant soul. Your angels are around you, enveloping you with the truth. You are worthy of a love that doesn't need to hide behind fears. And even if today it fights, hesitates, retreats, know this. You have already planted seeds that time cannot erase. Soon, when the walls crumble, it will be your light that it sees first. You've given so much of yourself, haven't you? In hidden silences, in gestures that no one sees, in prayers whispered between one disappointment and another. But today, the angels draw near and touch your shoulders with an ancient tenderness, saying, caring for another doesn't mean abandoning yourself. True love doesn't require sacrificing your essence. He flourishes when the soul, cared for and whole, offers itself as a garden, not as a desert. That person for whom your heart beats is in process. But you, sweet soul, are too. And the most sacred process is this, the journey back to oneself. To remember that the light which awakened the other first shone within you. And it must be protected, nurtured, revered. When you forget about yourself while waiting for him, something dims. A spark that should shine, even on nights of waiting. The angels whisper, "You are light in your own right. You don't need anyone else to ignite it." Take care of yourself as one would care for a temple. Nurture your faith, your joys, your dreams. Paint your days with your own color. Sing songs that only you understand. Dance in the chilly mornings. Embrace your imperfections. Because, dear soul, love is not losing yourself in another. It's finding even more of yourself in his presence. If he steps away, let it be to find a woman who stands tall, who hasn't dimmed her shine trying to fit into spaces he hasn't yet opened. If he returns, let it be to walk beside someone who knew how to choose herself first. The beauty of your journey does not depend on the arrival of anyone. It flourishes while you care for your own path. The angels say, "You are the home that so many souls seek." But it is also your duty to be your own refuge. So take care of yourself, of each heartbeat, of every dream that still sleeps in your chest. This is the medicine that true love recognizes from afar, the light that loves itself first. There is something in you, something that, even without intending it, reveals the forgotten parts of the other. It's not your words, nor your gestures. It's your presence that acts as a mirror, reflecting both the light and the shadows he tried to hide from himself. The angels say, "You are the reflection where he sees what he fears, and what he most desires to become." Next to you, he can no longer pretend that he doesn't feel, that he doesn't need to change. You awaken in him an ancient thirst, not for possession, but for self-discovery. But not every soul is ready to face itself without masks. That's why he hesitates. That's why sometimes he runs away. It's easier to live on the surface than to dive into the abyss of oneself. It's more comfortable to hide than to confront what his light reveals. And when he looks at you, he doesn't just see the woman who attracts him. He sees the bridge that would lead him inside himself, to places he promised never to visit again. Your laughter brings forth the memories he tried to erase. Your silence screams truths he feared to hear. Your love illuminates wounds he thought had healed. And you, effortlessly, become the portal. The portal of healing, transformation, and choice. The angels whisper, "He is fighting, not against you. He is battling what he needs to let go of in order to walk beside you." This struggle is his, dear soul. It's not your responsibility to save him, to convince him, or to wait until he's ready. Your mission is to continue being a mirror. A firm yet compassionate mirror. Reflecting everything he is, the fear, the courage, the resistance, and the hope. And when he finally decides to cross the bridge, it will be of his own choosing. Not out of insistence, not out of need, but because he recognized within himself the strength that your light has shown him exists. Keep being. Keep shining. The soul that can see its own darkness is the one closest to recognizing true love. There comes a moment when everything starts to change, but so subtly that it feels like a dream. Perhaps you've already felt it. A lingering gaze, a lighter silence, a gesture that was once fear but is now tenderness. The angels say, awakening does not come with a bang. It whispers first. This person walking through doubts and resistance is beginning to hear a calling that doesn't come from the mind. It's their soul that, touched by your light, starts to remember who they are. And in that memory, fear begins to lose its grip. And in that space, courage is born, timid, fragile but alive. You will notice almost imperceptible signs. A smile that lingers. A message sent for no reason. An unexpected apology. A longing confessed in the eyes, even if the lips remain silent. It's love waking within him. Not the kind of love that suffocates, demands, or restrains, but the love that acknowledges, here is safe. Here I can be. The angels whisper, every gesture of yours, every choice to remain in the light, is a silent invitation for him to awaken. This awakening, though slow, is genuine. He starts to see the beauty in vulnerability. He begins to realize that loving is not losing oneself, but finding oneself in another heart. He starts to desire what he once feared: closeness, surrender, building together. You were sent not to force this process, but to be the lighthouse. The lighthouse doesn't chase the ships. It simply shines. And those who want to, those who dare to cross the stormy sea, will find shelter in your light. Trust in the small signs, in the small steps, in every gesture that seems minor but is, in fact, a cry from his soul asking to experience what only true love can teach. And when you doubt, close your eyes and remember, what is real never fades. What is divine never gets lost. Have you ever felt like you were trapped in a cycle with no end? One step forward, two steps back. A day of light, another of absence. This confusing dance of closeness and distance is not a lack of love. It is fear. It is resistance. It is the soul trying to escape from what it most desires. The angels say, the back and forth is merely a reflection of his internal battle, not a reflection of your worth. When he draws near, it's because love is speaking louder. When he pulls away, it's because fear is embracing him more tightly. It's a cycle, and within it exists pain, but also transformation. Each return is a silent acknowledgement: he misses you. He recognizes your light. He feels pulled by something he can't understand. Each step back is a desperate attempt to maintain control, to not surrender to the unknown, to not dive into the vulnerability you awaken without even trying. And you, sweet soul, often suffer in this ebb and flow. You question if you are worthy. You question if you are enough. You question if it's real. The angels surround you now with their wings and whisper, you were never the problem. You have always been the answer. His resistance is not rejection. It's a sign that you've touched him so deeply that he doesn't know how to cope. It's a sign that you've unearthed what he has spent his life trying to bury. So breathe. Release the guilt. Release the urge to understand every move he makes. Be like the solid ground that awaits the seasons. In no rush. Without fear. Not losing yourself in the waiting. Resistance is part of the healing. And you are not alone in this process. The angels walk beside you, blowing courage into your weary heart. And they promise, everything that is true remains, even when the wind blows hard. There is a force that the world cannot explain. A force that grows silently between two souls meant to heal each other. This force is love. Not the idealized love, full of promises and perfection, but the raw, real love that arrives to mend the oldest wounds. The angels say, the love you offer is medicine for a weary soul. You don't need to make grand speeches or offer impossible guarantees. Your presence, your patience, your quiet compassion are balms he didn't even know he needed. When you embrace his doubts without demanding certainties, you heal him. When you remain a light even in his absences, you heal him. When you love without ceasing to love yourself, you heal him. Your loving energy reaches where words cannot. It invades the silences, calms the fears, dissolves the invisible barriers. Every smile you share, every tender glance, stitches together the gaps that time has created within him. But know this, beautiful soul, you won't always see the immediate effects of this healing. Sometimes, transformation occurs deep within what is invisible. Sometimes, change first manifests in the soul, and only later reveals itself through actions. And when you doubt, when fatigue sets in, remember what the angels say, even when it seems like nothing is happening, love is working silently. Continue to love wisely. Keep offering your light without burning out. Because the medicine you provide not only heals others, it heals you as well. True love heals from the inside out. And what is born this way, rooted in the soul, flourishes forever. You are the remedy that fate chose to touch this life. And in doing so, you are also being healed in places you didn't even know needed healing. Trust in the power of that love. It knows exactly what to do. Even when the path seems uncertain, the healing has already begun. There are moments when the soul cries out for answers. When the paths seem unclear, when silence weighs heavier than any spoken word. And it is right there, in that empty space, that God whispers. The angels say, "You are not lost. You are being guided." Every step you have taken, even those that seemed like stumbling blocks, was part of a larger plan. Nothing was in vain. Nothing escaped the loving hands that wove you together. This connection that warms and frightens your heart is more than human desire. It is a divine calling, a bridge between purposes that are still unfolding. You and this person have been placed face to face because there is something to be healed, learned, transformed. And even if mortal eyes cannot comprehend it now, the eyes of the soul know. There is something sacred in every gaze, in every departure, in every reunion. The angels whisper that it is not a time for despair. It is a time for trust. A time to surrender, not to fear, but to mystery. Time to believe that life knows what it's doing, even when you can't see it yet. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do the rest. Psalms 37 verse 5. Yes, precious soul, what is yours has already been set aside in the invisible realms. What still seems distant is merely being polished in God's timing. Your angels walk ahead of you, preparing the ground where true love can bloom. And every tear you've shed, every silent prayer whispered in sleepless nights, has already been heard, embraced, and transformed into blessings. You are not waiting alone. You are being prepared. And the love that will come, whether through this person or in ways you can't even imagine, will be worthy of the woman you are becoming right now. Trust. Breathe. Move forward. Heaven is working while you rest in the arms of faith. There is a kind of love that only flourishes in the soil of vulnerability. It's the love that isn't built on perfection, but on the cracks through which the light enters. And today, the angels approach and whisper, "He feels. He wants. But still he fears." This person who occupies your thoughts wishes to love. He wants to offer everything that words cannot express. But fear visits him like an old shadow, the fear of abandonment, of rejection, of the pain he vowed never to feel again. When he gets close to you, he feels the call of freedom. When he lets himself be a little vulnerable, he feels the terror of losing himself. That's why sometimes he takes a step back when everything seems ready to bloom. It's not a lack of love. It's an abundance of scars. The angels say, there's nothing you need to do to convince a heart to open. There's only the beauty of being who you are, even as he learns that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. Allow him to have fear. Allow him to have doubts. Allow him to move at the pace that his soul can handle. And above all, allow your love to be free. Free to stay. Free to leave. Free to return transformed. You are not called to heal him with effort. You are called to be a safe space, a true mirror, a presence that says without needing words, I see you, even when you cannot see yourself yet. And if his vulnerability is too great, if his surrender is slow, trust, nothing that is yours will be lost. Nothing that was sown in true love dies. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, let love have the time it needs. Let life do what only it knows how to do, heal, unite, restore. You are enough light to illuminate the path. Even when he still walks in darkness, there is a peace that only comes when the soul surrenders. When it stops fighting against what it cannot change and simply accepts that there is a time for everything under heaven. The angels today kneel by your side and say, you have fulfilled your role. Now, it is time to trust. To love is not to bind. To love is to bless the steps of another, even when those steps take paths you do not yet understand. To love is to open your hands, let go of control, and rest in what is eternal. The person who has touched your soul so deeply was, is, and always will be a part of your story. But you are not called to carry that story alone. There are sacred limits between what is yours to do and what is the exclusive work of heaven. To accept is not to give up. To accept is to recognize that true love does not depend on time, form, or human expectations. What is real transcends fear, overcomes absence, and crosses the impossible. The angels whisper, if it is meant to be, it will be. And it will be in the perfect time, without you needing to bend or lose yourself. Trust that life is working silently, beyond your sight. Trust that what is yours will never be stolen or forgotten. Trust that love, when it is true, always finds a way, even if it is not what you imagined. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't hurt yourself anymore trying to force doors that time hasn't opened yet. You are worthy of a love that chooses you without fear. A love that blossoms without rush. A love that stays because it recognizes the treasure it has found in you. Surrender. Breathe. Release. The sky, which has heard every silent prayer of your heart, is already moving mountains for you. And in the meantime, live. Live with an open heart. Live with shining eyes. Live with your soul lifted, knowing that being who you are is, in itself, the greatest gift you can offer the world. And remember, true love isn't something you ask for. It is something you recognize. And it always, always comes back home.